This month, we're sharing testimonies from our listeners and some of our previous guests. Testimonies of God's direction, miraculous moments on set, examples of God taking what was offered and multiplying it in ways that were never imagined. Here's one of those testimonies.
This is the Faith and Family Filmmakers Podcast, helping filmmakers who share a Christian worldview stay in touch, informed, and inspired. Quiet on set. Rolling.
Hi, my name is Evan Atwood, and I'm a director, writer, editor living in Rockford, Illinois. I have, as an artist and a filmmaker, struggled to see me the way God sees me. And for a long time, this took form in that I had a goal of making a full-length film, and until I made a full-length film, I felt, honestly, like I wasn't worth as much. Now, this summer, I was able to shoot a feature-length film, and we saw God's hand on this from day one. The first scene that we went to shoot, it was raining. Not a good mood to start the production off on. And my wife says, let's pray. Objectively, within 30 to 60 seconds of when we stopped praying, it let up. It not only let up, it completely stopped raining. And then the next day, it was beautiful sunlight when that fit, and then it was cloudy when we needed the mood of cloud cover. And it started raining a few minutes after we got in the car, after finishing filming for the day, and I just got used to it. But there's also the side of making a film that's very stressful. And I think the greatest amount of stress is wrapped up, for me, if I'm honest, in my accomplishment, in my performance. So when things went well, I was enjoying it. I was riding that stress, and it worked. When things weren't going as well, when a scene wasn't working out, when I didn't have confidence in the next scene or a series of scenes that we were shooting, I had an anxiety. Where does that come from? And even now, as we edit the film, I'm also editing it. And as I work through the feedback on the rough cut, there's lots of positive feedback. But the negative feedback, I also take in. And so I had a really low point. In considering all the failures, if you will. All the little things that could be better. With art, there's constant room for growth and exploration, criticism and imagination. And if you dwell in the negative side of that for a moment or for a season, it can really bring you down. I've been brought down low. So what do I need? What do I need when I'm brought down low because I'm unable to perform, perfectly? There are things that went well. There are things that didn't go well, and I'm focused on the things that didn't go well. How do I get out of that? Well, flash back to months and years before producing this film, before shooting it and editing it. Flashback months and years, and God was working on me and preparing me. I was single, and I was very sick for a while. And through that, through some loneliness, through some suffering, I experienced an invaluable intimacy with God abiding in him and learning to abide in him deeper. And God spoke to me. He said, a lot of times over and over, this is what you need to abide in me. And I wanted a next step in accomplishing something. And he said, abide in me. You're going to need this, and you're going to need this in the future. I understood that to mean in the years to come. And so here I am. I've reached a low point, and I've gotten in a rut because I've worked on my accomplishments, and I've focused on my accomplishments. And in so doing, I've found myself focused on my lack of accomplishments. But I was so well practiced in abiding in him that now it is so much easier to get back on that track of abiding in him. And so what I needed was actually who I needed. It's him that I need. John 15 says, abide in me and I in you, and you will bear much fruit. So abide in him. Abide in him, and he promises to abide in you. Abide in him, and he promises that you will bear much fruit. To bear the fruit means to hold it. A tree holds fruit. The tree doesn't produce the fruit, but God produces fruit if we abide in him. It's him that we need.
Thanks for listening to the Faith and Family Filmmakers Podcast. If you've been enjoying this podcast, take a moment to follow or subscribe on your favorite podcast player so you don't miss an episode. And if you'd like to support the production of this podcast, you can leave a tip at faffpodcast.com/support. Bringing filmmakers together for faith and family.